The government of Alberta and its new premier are making national headlines with a new piece of legislation. The Alberta Sovereignty Within a United Canada Act was tabled yesterday. Analysts say the act would give Cabinet unique powers to change laws. This comes as legislators here vote on the Saskatchewan First Act, but they're not the same. For more on this topic, I'm joined by CBC's Provincial Affairs reporter, Adam Hunter. Adam, what is the reaction to Alberta's proposed legislation?
Well, this is the long-awaited Alberta Sovereignty Act promised by new Premier Danielle Smith on the campaign trail. It finally was tabled in the Alberta legislature. Now, it aims to give and outlines how Alberta would refuse potentially to enforce some federal laws that it deems harmful or infringing upon Alberta's jurisdiction. This has been questioned by many constitutional law experts, saying that it's not going to fly. Today, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said he's not looking for a fight. And when asked about the Alberta Sovereignty Act today, Premier Scott Moe says he's only been briefed on it and didn't get into much detail. He wanted to talk about the Saskatchewan First Act.
I won't say whether it goes too far or doesn't go too far. What I would say is, I'm aware precisely of what the Saskatchewan Act is going to do. But what I would say is all of these acts are going to have rightful scrutiny from opposition members, from others as well. And that's a good thing. They will have scrutiny, and they do need to be within the confines of the laws that we have in our nation. Our goal with the Saskatchewan Act is to take up our full provincial constitutional authority. We have full intent on doing that. And if that is the goal of the Alberta Sovereignty Act, maybe in a little different way, we're supportive of provinces doing just that.
Well, the Saskatchewan government says its Saskatchewan First Act does not give Cabinet any special powers and will operate within the Canadian Constitution. The Act is aimed to reassert provincial jurisdiction over natural resources.
The Saskatchewan First Act passed through a second reading this week. The NDP has received some criticism for a vote to move the bill onto the next stage. What can you tell us about that?
On Monday night, the members of the government and members of the NDP who are in the Assembly voted to move this through second reading onto the committee stage. As you mentioned, the NDP has received some criticism. People may remember that the Saskatchewan First Act was criticized by various groups, including the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations, said it didn't respect inherent treaty rights and that they were in opposition to it. The NDP didn't block the bill or attempt to stall in any way at this stage. Opposition leader Carla Beck said today that the reason for that is because committee is a better chance for the opposition to scrutinize the government. It has hours to debate and discuss it, to bring in many questions that it wants to, and she's encouraging the public at this time to get in touch with them if they have concerns and questions about the Act.
This is an opportunity for people in the province to have a meaningful say, to ask those questions in committee, not where the government controls the floor and the speaking notes, to actually take some of those questions from people who have been demanding them.
The bill now moves to committee where it will be debated, discussed, and dissected for many hours. Of course, the NDP can't stop the bill. The government can push it through if it wants. It has a majority next spring. Natasha?
Thanks, Adam. Adam Hunter is our legislative reporter.